Spider silk. Pound for pound, stronger than steel. Tougher than Kevlar. Built-in self-assembly. Biodegradable. Spiders are out there speedrunning material science while humans are still figuring out how to make plastic that doesn't kill turtles. For 380 million years, evolution has been dunking on engineers, and today we're figuring out why. Let's briefly talk material science first. The word strength can take on many forms, and unfortunately, it's not as simple as your average gym bro thinks. Among others, it marries at least a few of the following concepts: tensile strength, specific strength, and toughness. Tensile strength defines how much force you can apply before something snaps when you pull on it. Toughness defines how much energy something can absorb before breaking. It can undergo plastic deformation, but not fracture. Plastic deformation simply means that the object has permanently deformed and will not return to its initial state when the applied force is removed, such as bending a paperclip. This is in contrast to elastic deformation, where the material does return to its original shape after the force is removed. Lastly, specific strength is the kind of strength that takes into account the material's density. When people talk about the strength of spider silk, this is typically what they're referring to. For example, there are certain types of steel with much higher tensile strength than spider silk, such as maraging steel, but they're also roughly 6 times as dense. Now, let's map this out. Imagine a quadrant with tensile strength on the x-axis and toughness on the y-axis. Bottom right, strong but brittle, such as a diamond. Good luck pulling it apart, but hit it with a hammer in the right spot and it shatters. Top right, strong and tough. Steel, titanium, or Kevlar. Very hard to stretch and requires a lot of force to break. Top left, weak but tough. For example, rubber bands or chewing gum. Easy to stretch until it snaps, but it also stretches a ton before breaking. Bottom left, weak and brittle. Chalk, dry clay, or stale bread. Stretch it a bit or accidentally drop it on the ground and it's gone. And as you've probably guessed by this point, spider silk sits right here in the top right corner. Steel is humanity's go-to strong material. Skyscrapers, bridges, trains is the backbone of modern engineering. But spider silk, you've probably heard claims that it's stronger than steel. In fact, I made that claim myself at the start of this video. But that greatly oversimplifies it because there's a lot of nuance here. There are about 50,000 spider species. Not every spider produces a different type of silk, of course, but they're also far from all being the same. Some types have only slight molecular differences, while others have wildly different characteristics. There exist hundreds, if not possibly thousands, of different spider silk types. What no one tells you is that there's a Michael Jordan of spiders. That when people say spider silk is several times stronger than steel and 10 times tougher than Kevlar, they're really referring to only one spider species that can do this: Darwin's bark spider. It doesn't build spiderwebs in corners of rooms, but across rivers. And they can span up to 80 feet in length. You might be thinking, hold up, that doesn't sound right. What do you mean they build a web across a river? You see, they shoot out silk into the air and let the wind carry it. Now, they obviously don't stand there with the wind sensor and at some point think, oh, yes, perfect wind speed, let me build a bridge. It's more likely that their sensory hairs allow them to detect air movement and then they just shoot their shot. Discovered in Madagascar only 16 years ago, its silk is the toughest biological material ever studied. Nature just casually invented better body armor with no R&D budget, just trial and error over a few 100 million years. Interestingly, spiders don't just make one type of silk. They have an entire inventory of specialized silks for different jobs. Dragline silk for structure, capture spiral silk for trapping prey, and yes, a special silk just for wrapping prey into nightmare burritos. If spider silk is this good, why hasn't evolution granted the ability to produce it to more animals? Short answer, making spider silk is a massive pain. It's not just a protein, it's a liquid crystal that gets extruded and solidifies under precise conditions. It's like trying to 3D print a parachute while it's already falling. Plus, spiders needed it. They are tiny predators catching fast-moving prey. They don't have wings. They need lifelines to avoid falling to their deaths. For them, it's the perfect solution. Other animals, they found different answers. Lions have big teeth, birds have wings, and bees have stingers. Obviously, humans want in on the action. Imagine biodegradable sutures, artificial tendons, lightweight body armor, fishing gear that doesn't choke sea turtles for 500 years. The problem is, we still can't fully replicate it. Companies have tried, for example, genetically modifying goats to produce silk proteins in their milk. They also tried engineered bacteria, synthetic polymers, or even modified silkworms. None of it scales like actual spiders, at least not yet. And farming spiders, we've already managed to figure out how to build arguably more important spider farms, but when it comes to the real stuff, it's a disaster. They are territorial, cannibalistic, and produce very tiny amounts of silk. Farming silkworms is like managing a factory. However, farming spiders is like running a battle royale. Also, the largest piece of spider silk fabric ever made, this cape, that is 11 by 4 feet large, which took several years to make, required roughly 1.2 million spiders, and with the entire endeavor costing around $400,000. Good luck scaling that to commercial production. Scientists aren't giving up though. Research is pushing forward with artificial spinning techniques, new biomaterials, and genetic engineering approaches to make synthetic silk as strong as the real thing. We might not be able to farm spiders, but maybe we can hijack biology in other ways. But for now, nature is still winning. So, after billions of dollars and decades of research, the best engineers on the planet are still getting bodied by tiny creatures that have been refining their craft for hundreds of millions of years. So next time you see a spider, maybe don't reach for the shoe. You're looking at one of the most advanced material engineers on the planet.